So we're looking forward to the hot days of summer. Spring is here and summer is just around the corner. It's going to heat up soon. And I'm going to try and switch gears and focus on fresh fragrances. And today I've got a twist on fresh fragrances. These are green freshies. Find out about these awesome green fragrances coming right up. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm Sebastian talking to you about fresh green fragrances. Let me know if you're a fan of green fragrances. Let me know if you love green fragrances, and if you don't, and why do you love or hate green fragrances? And if you have a favorite, add a comment below so we can all find out. And so, yeah, these are green fragrances that I recommend. There's new ones and the usual suspects here. And we're going to go ahead and get started with the list right now. First fragrance going to the house of J.U.S and DURGA. It's Bistro Waters. It's a really fun and clever, catchy name. I feel like J.U.S and DURGA does those kind of catchy names pretty well. And I think the fragrance is pretty decent as well. It's ranked at the bottom, so I was going through to rank this list, create a ranked list, and this one ended up at the bottom. It does feature green bell peppers. It has linden blossom and a lot of different fresh notes, musky notes, citruses, and things like that. And to me, it wears very, very fresh. The Bistro Waters idea is kind of nice. It's green bell peppers in the end, so it's a bit vegetal. But I've seen bell peppers used in fragrances quite a bit, and not a lot. There are some fragrances out there. And I like that greenness of the bell peppers. If you know what it tastes like, the bell pepper, I'm sure you've had some in your lifetime, just think of that as a smell. And I think it's really quite pleasant. So check it out here with Bistro Waters. Wonderful offering. Then we're going to the house of L'Artisan. This is Vetiver ECARLATE. In the end, it has vetiver in the base notes, so it's a bit more substantial with the woodiness and the grassiness of the vetiver, the earthiness, of course. But this does have tomato leaves up top and also grapefruit. So the tomato leaves is quite green. It's a bit herbal. It's aromatic, slightly bitter. And there's that bitterness with the grapefruit as well. So it creates this kind of a fresh, zingy, earthy, herbal kind of a combo with all the notes. It wears quite nice, and I think in the heat of the summer, I think this is really great, or any warm day that you want this kind of a zingy freshness and also earthy herbal greenness as well. Wonderful offering, Vetiver ECARLATE from the house of L'Artisan PARFUMEUR. So the next fragrance, I'm going to the house of LUSH with a brand spanking new fragrance I bought. I wanted to feature it here, and I'm still trying to wrap my head around it. This is Bond Street 1972. So recently I went to a LUSH store and I smelled all of their fragrances because I had been wanting to smell a bunch of them that they had just launched. In fact, I have a video, an anticipation video online. Go catch that. This one I really enjoyed, and I'm kind of really starting to embrace green fragrances again. I really like the idea of green fragrances, and this LUSH Bond Street 1972 smells like the green pea shoots or pea leaves. Just imagine if you've seen those plants, they're kind of viney and you have the peas growing on top, but you can actually eat the greens, and I actually love the flavor, and so here it's captured perfectly. So it's a bit vegetal once again, herbal, bitter, and also very, very fresh. This has Olibanum Resinoid, but it also has a lot of green notes and Galbanum. And Galbanum is associated with green fragrances. If you like Galbanum and fragrances, go catch my video on Galbanum fragrances. But Bond Street 1972, when I first smelled it, it was a bit odd, but I really craved that green smell, but it's totally grown on me now. I absolutely love it. We're going to the house of Ex Nihilo next. It's Viper Green. And speaking of Galbanum, this is a Galbanum bomb, but it's also very, very fresh. It's uber fresh, and I think it's perfect in the heat of summer. And I just, I sometimes crave, other fragrances rather than citruses that are freshies, and this is perfect. So it has Galbanum, Vetiver, green mandarin, jasmine, Angelica, iris, powdery notes, and patchouli. And I love that patchouli when it's drying down. It gives you this nice earthy base, woody base in the, dry down, but it's all green and fresh and citrusy up top. And again, really, really wonderful offering for the heat of summer. Something different, something unique, but not so out there that you can't wear it. It's just a really, really great green-leaning fragrance. Viper Green from the house of Ex Nihilo. Then going to the house of Parfum d'Empire. This is CORSICA Furiosa. So remember that character off of the Mad Max movies? The last couple of them, I think. I haven't seen the latest one. This kind of takes me back there because it's called CORSICA Furiosa. But it's an uber green-leaning fragrance once again, which also has some boozy notes like Eau-De-Vie, which is a fruit brandy. There's There's lots of tomato leaves here. There's oak moss, mastic resin, and a lot of growth found on the island of Corsica, because the fragrance is inspired by Corsica. It's called Corsica Furiosa. But once again, a lot of tomato leaves. There's slight ambery touches, slight boozy touches, and spiciness coming throughout woods and ambery experience when it's drying down as well. But it's an uber green fragrance, Corsica Furiosa. Wonderful offering from a great house. Let me know if you're familiar with Parfum de Empire. If you're not, go catch a video overview of a lot of their fragrances that I have on the channel. I think there's some great fragrances from that house. Next up, going to the house of AMER perfumes. This is Perennial, this one right here. This seems to be a brand spanking new one from this house as well. We recently featured one of their fragrances, Arabian Jasmine, I believe it was what it was called. Let me know if you experienced that fragrance. But this is once again a very green fragrance. It's brand spanking new, so I'm going to go ahead and take a smell for you on camera as well. And it's fresh, but with tea and also galbanum and violet leaves. And there's a major jasmine effect happening with a lot of citruses like bergamot and lemon. So there's floral, ozonic, green and bitter, but also kind of cozy. Because tea I really associate with some cozy smoothness. And so whenever I experience tea and fragrances, it gives me this kind of like comforting, relaxed vibe. But this is definitely featuring all that. So it has this kind of a watery effect, crisp from the violet leaves. Of course, it's nicely blended with the greenness of the galbanum and of course that green tea. But behind the scenes, there's a lot of citruses for a lot of juicy freshness. And then of course the floral touches from the jasmine floral note. So that's Perennial from the house of AMER perfumes. Let me know if you're familiar with that. Then going to a house that is doing a great fougere here, but a very ice cold fougere, but green and herbal leaning once again. This is from the house of J.U.S. and it's ICYFIZZ, this one right here. For a really, really great offering. It's fougere in the end. It's very, very modern. So it has your aromatics and herbal notes. It also has a lot of freshness, citrusy touches. There's a very crisp cold effect happening here. There's green tea as well, and it creates a like ice cold experience. So if you're into the idea of wearing something super cold and chilling when it's really hot outside, and you like the idea of fougeres, ICYFIZZ is going to satisfy. It's got peppery touches. It's got neroli, bergamot. There's lavender, of course, which is basically what's found in fougeres, but it's got this special green tea note in here with woods in the dry down. Really wonderful, a modern fougere fragrance that is ice cold experience during the hot months, which is perfect. Then we're going to the house of Aesop or Aesop. This is Vetiver, this one right here, for a super green fragrance. I discovered this when I was in London in August at Selfridges actually, and they had just put it out there. And I'm a fan of the house. I'm a fan of their fragrances, but I feel like their fragrances are a bit overly priced. So if you can find deals on them, get them at that time, like a department store like Saks or Neiman's. If they're ever doing like $1 off, I would take advantage of those situations to get these fragrances because they do come up to be very expensive. But I really, really love their fragrances because they make some great fragrances. And this is a great, great green fragrance. A bit figgy, but it's leaning green and woody. So it's got cedar, hay, mate, green tea, mastic, pink pepper, bergamot, and galbanum. And you've got the galbanum here. It does act a bit like tomato leaves and things like that. Maybe some ivy and some floral touches like hyacinth come in. And there's another fragrance that it reminds me of on this list, but I kind of prefer the other one a little more, so I've ranked that a little higher. But Vetiver is really, really great from a pretty solid house that has really expensive skincare items and also expensive fragrances. But let me know if you're a fan of Vetiver from the house of Aesop. I want to find out if you like that fragrance. And still been meaning to do a video overview on that whole house. Maybe one of these days we'll do it. But going to a house from the UK called Miller Harris. This is Celadon, this one right here, for a really wonderful herbal tomato leaf fragrance that's super delicious and very, very yummy. And also very refreshing and green and uplifting. It's got a very, very uplifting vibe. I really like that about this fragrance. But the tomato leaves, I really love this note. I don't know, maybe if you don't or not. But if you ever go near a tomato plant, smell the leaves, and it's basically captured here. So it's tomato leaves, mate tea, magnolia, verbena, basil, and cardamom for one really fresh, very green, and refreshing, spicy, fragrance you can wear in the summertime. Celadon is great. I think the fragrance house has been doing some really great work lately, and Celadon is definitely one of the ones that I really enjoy from this house, from their recent launches. And I hope you guys do as well if you are into green fragrances. And then this next one is a fragrance called Palmetto from the house of Nomenclature. This one I bought during my trip in Europe. I really fell in love with the softness of this and the uber greenness of this. It wears so amazing. I absolutely love it. It's Sichuan pepper, Angelica, musk, galbanum, ambergris, jasmine, figs, and lemons. Really such a smooth fragrance. Perfectly cozy also. Really just has that really refined quality about it. And even though I had heard about this house Nomenclature, I hadn't seen these bottles before. And this was on a clearance rack in Europe when I was traveling, and I had to snatch it up because I smelled it. I really loved it. So Palmetto from the house of Nomenclature. Let me know if you're a fan of that house, or if you haven't, does that sound good to you? Just a little bit more about Palmetto. It's green, as I said. It has musk, it has Angelica, but what I really like about this one is the galbanum note. That really wonderful, sticky, green, bitter, resinous note that I'm obsessed with in fragrances. That is, most importantly found in a fragrance called Chanel No. 19. It's a galbanum bomb, and so it's here too, mixed in with a lot of great notes. But next, we're moving to a house from Thailand. It's Siam 1928. It's Karawik, this one right here. Oh boy, I sampled this one and it gave me scent memories, and I don't know what I'm getting, but I really love that reminder of some scent memories. It's wild mangoes, galbanum, coconut, lavender, magnolia, sandalwood, oak moss, and cedarwood. Really love that kind of bitter green skin, or whatever greenness I'm getting from the mangoes here, giving you this tropical edge, kind of fruity vibes, but definitely like tart, not sweet mangoes. So it's kind of like taking the skin, making it a bit bitter green tart, mixing it with galbanum, and then kind of like the smooth and creaminess from the coconut. So it's got this creamy layer. It's also got magnolia and sandalwood, which is actually amplifying the smoothness. And along the way, you've got this lavender and woods that comes in. Really awesome. And I love the bottle. Really cool bottle from the house of Siam 1928. Let me know if you're familiar with that fragrance, Karawik, and that brand. But moving on to a house called One Day. This is Jeju. Oh boy, this is also a really great fresh take on a citrusy green fragrance. Lots of yuzu here, and yuzu is kind of like a grapefruit, but I think yuzu in comparison to grapefruit does have a bit of saltiness, so you experienced it. You experience it here. So it kind of tones down the grapefruit's bitterness and tartness, but you also have grapefruit here, basil, bitter orange, tomato leaves, green accord, orange blossom, moss, musk, cedar. Oh my God, it's so good. Really super delicious. Very fresh, super citrusy, very green, and also floral, all rolled into one. It's a very happy and uplifting fragrance in a green direction. So check out Jeju from One Day. I think you'll be happy with that one. But moving on to the house of Jill Sander. I've been recommending this one because I bought it when I was in Europe. It's Leaf from Jill Sander. And this is a fragrance that doesn't feature tomato leaves, but you've got tomato leaf accord here when you're wearing it. See, this is how the bottle is, and this is the lid. It's like a nipple, kind of. But this is key lime, cardamom, CO2, and corn mint. But super fresh, very fresh, invigorating, super green, and the tomato leaves idea comes to mind. And to me, I think when my dad was planting tomatoes, the plants would be, growing during the summer warmer months. But just imagine the plants there, and there's this summer breeze, a cool, airy breeze hitting the plants, and the smell of the plants is wafting in the air and hits your nose. That's kind of what I get with Leaf from Jill Sander. Absolutely love that, and I'll be putting it to use quite a bit this summer. But moving on to the house of Plume Impression, this is Murmure d'été. So this I felt bad. I recently dropped the bottle and broke, shattered everywhere. So disappointed. And it was in the hall here, and everywhere it smelled like Murmure d'été. So I had to get another bottle because it's such a great fragrance. And this is a Canton Biche creation, and it features lots of fig with fig pulp and fig wood, along with cypress, davana, freesia, cedar, sandalwood, and tonka. He created such a great fragrance for this house. It's super awesome, super green, super bitter, but also sweetness around it, freshness and woods as well. And I feel like this one is perfect in the summertime. Even though it has a bit more depth, it's not as fresh and airy like ones that have a lot of citruses, but this smells fantastic in the summertime. Just imagine walking under a fig grove, or maybe you're picnicking or lunching at a picnic table or something, and you could smell the fig leaves, baking under the sun, and it's kind of fresh and breezy at the same time. Absolutely love that kind of experience, and that's what I get with Murmure d'été from the House of Plume Impression. Let me know if you're a fan of that. And I haven't spoken about this one in a long time. I'm pulling it out. It's green fragrance with a bit of a substance. It's got an ambery, base as well. This is Nichoné's Ambre Calabria. Absolutely love this one, and I'm just ranking all the green fragrances here. Somehow it ended up at number 6 today, but it's definitely one of my favorites from Nichoné. It's such a unique experience. Absolutely love it. Amber fragrance. It's more of a fresh amber and also a green leaning amber, so it smells fantastic. With green leaves, there's Galbanum here once again. There's bergamot, amber, vanilla, coriander, jasmine, and to me, it's the kind of amber which I love, and which is usually left for like the colder days. Again, I don't have rules personally, but most of you guys want to follow the rules and wear the heavy fragrances and it's cold outside, the fresh ones when it's warm outside. This one you can get away with wearing when it's warm outside, even though it has the amber and vanilla. It's so fresh and green up top, and it smells really great. Ambre Calabria from Nichoné, definitely one of my favorites from that house. Then going to the house of Bon Parfumeur, we've got number 104 in the original, and then also the extract. And 104, to me, reminds me a little bit of Vetiver. I feel like they're related, but not identical. They go in different directions. What I like about the 104 is the hyacinth. It's a green floral note and mixed in with a lot of galbanum and bitter orange and ivy together for one amazing green experience. Ivy is a unique note. I think it's called Lierre in French. And there's actually Eau de Lierre from the House of Diptyque that I also enjoy, but very, very thin. It's very light fragrance here. It's a bit more substantial, plus it has a lot more other things. But if you've ever hung out around ivy when it's baking under the sun, you can smell a certain smell. And they've captured it here, nicely blended it with the galbanum, the hyacinth, and the bitter orange to create a really wonderful experience to wear in the summertime. A green floral fragrance with a lot of juicy citruses. So that's 104. And the difference between the extract and the 104, I prefer the original over the extract for some strange reason. I just like the freshness of it. But moving on to the house of Rus and Rus, this is Malamata. And Malamata we recently featured in the Scent Club kit last summer. Hopefully you guys got a sample of it and discovered it. It's a really great green fragrance created by Dominique Ropion. But again, it's a green fragrance, so you gotta be into green notes. And this is uber green. It's green galbanum, fresh peppermint, mastic, violet leaves, rose, lily of the valley, green vegetal notes, absinthe and sage. So fresh, so green, so viney and herbal, and also slightly ambery, but not too much. And then also the green flowers comes in. The green floral notes mix so wonderfully with all the green notes, the ozonic notes, the fresh green herbal notes, and the vegetal notes together, along with the galbanum. Wonderful offering. Malamata from Rus and Rus, one of the best for sure, and that's at number 4. All right, we've got 3 more fragrances left. Going to the house of Xerjoff next, it's Torino 21. Some of you have been asking me if I know of any alternatives of this. It is a pricey fragrance. I'm maybe going to put a video together if I can figure out alternatives for this. But in the meantime, I'm recommending Torino 21 because I absolutely love it. For me, it's like lemon mint tea. That's the experience I've had with this fragrance ever since I first reviewed it. That's exactly what I said. I used to drink lemon mint tea. I don't anymore. I'm kind of lost interest in the taste of that. But that's what it reminds me of. Lots of lemony and, citrusy touches with a lot of mint. But there's also basil here, blackcurrant, musk, and verbena for one fresh experience. Super green, super citrusy, very juicy, and also tea effect that I get with this one. It's a great fragrance. Torino 21 has become one of Xerjoff's most popular fragrance, beating all the other Torino fragrances, I think. I think 21 is the best. Then moving on to the house of Estier de Valette. This is Montes la Jolie, this one right here. Again, I keep recommending this one. It's super amazing. Such a great, unique take on mint and basil together with a lot of juicy citruses. There's also fig here to provide more greenness, and then, of course, eucalyptus for a slight green camphor aromatic touch for a very, very fresh and invigorating green fragrance. I absolutely love the way it smells. It's so unique. When you smell it, you get a bit of a salad greens vibe, but with overdose of the minty herbal touches. So yummy. Montez La Jolie, amazing fragrance. And then I'm going to end the list with number 1, going to the house of Joram Studio Paradisi. This is one of the best green fragrances ever. So I was in Edinburgh, Scotland during Christmas, and it was downpour around the time of Christmas, not on Christmas Day. So I went from my hotel all the way to their store, and the brand showed me all their fragrances, and I fell in love with Paradisi when it was downpouring outside. Heavy rain, and I got a bottle of Paradisi because it smelled so authentically amazing. But it has soil, grapefruit, tree moss, cucumber, guava, rhubarb, passion flower, honeysuckle, pink pepper, magnolia, orange, and pear for such a juicy, succulent, bowl of fruits and greens mixed together kind of an experience. It's like definitely one of the best. So authentically real. Also, maybe the idea of overgrowth of a garden, and you have to dig through the overgrowth, and you're breaking the greens. Maybe you're breaking some fruits, and they're, opening up, and the juice comes out, and that's all kind of mixed in with all the greens. That's the experience I get with Paradisi. It's super, super amazing. My favorite fragrance from this house, hands down, Paradisi. Also my favorite green fragrance as of late. You've got to get your nose on it if you're into that picture I painted for you guys. But anyway, that's the top 20 list of green, fresh fragrances to wear spring and summer. Let me know your thoughts on these fragrances. Do you enjoy them? Do you have any of them? Have you been wanting any of them? And if you hadn't heard any of them, which one sounds great to you? Add a comment below so I can find out. But either way, guys, thanks so much for watching today's video. If you have any questions or comments, please list below. Please like this video. Please share it. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook. And I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Bye-bye.